I 3D printed the Book of the Dead from The Mummy, and in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I did it. So, I got the files from the same guy I got the key to Hamunaptra from, as I had bought them in a bundle on Etsy. In this bundle, you would get the Book of the Dead, the key to Hamunaptra, and the Book of Amun-Ra. I must say, however, this print was a lot harder to print out than the key to Hamunaptra, not just because it had much more organic shapes, but also because, simply put, a lot of files were not up to date. They were incorrect. Some of the pieces did not fit the way they should have. Luckily, thanks to his Discord, I was able to find the correct file, for example, for the back panel of the front cover. But, you know, since you pay for these files, I do in some ways expect that the files are all correct. But besides that, I was also dealing with some massive warping, which I then realized was because I needed this 3D lac spray, which I didn't realize until I started working on another project, and since hairspray and glue just weren't working no matter what. So unfortunately I didn't print out the pages because of the warping, but luckily I managed to make the lock mechanism of the book work. So basically there are two main big gear pieces that are connected to the levers, and then there's one small gear piece that is connected to the key. It's a bit hard to explain, but it'll make sense once you see the finished result. So right here are the linkages. They connect the gear pieces to the levers themselves. And here are the levers that I was talking about. They basically pinch into the claps of the book, aka the falcons. Now at last I just have to add the pivot, which is basically going to connect with the key so it doesn't move back and forth. And then I just have to add the back panel for the front cover, which I know it looks bad. That's because it was actually just a test print and it didn't work because of warping. Then I hired someone off of Reddit to print it for me, and the issue was because I didn't know at that point that the file that was basically included in the bundle that I bought, right? This is what I was talking about earlier. The file for the back panel was incorrect. So basically it didn't line up correctly, and yeah, so basically I spent money on someone printing it for me, which I then found out was the wrong back panel. So yeah, pretty messy. So basically the one that was delivered and printed for me was still incorrect because I sent him the wrong file, which, to my defense, I did not know was the wrong file. So now we are getting to the assembly of the Book of the Dead. So basically we have the fashioning spine, we have the clasps, we also got the paint to finish this prop up. So similar, or not even similar, basically the same way I did with the key to Hamunaptra. I'm going to be using some cheap acrylic gold paint that I had left over, and I'm going to be using this green stuff metallic gold as a base layer. And I'm also going to be using some pigments for weathering later on. I do have some black pigment, but you'll see that later on in the video that I did not use that, so you don't have to get it. I only used the desert sand pigment and the desert dust pigment. So by far my favorite thing about this prop was the painting and weathering process. I just love doing this antique gold effect. I feel like there's not really much that you can do wrong. You basically just rely on, I don't know, just on your gut feeling. So once you've applied the gold metallic base layer, which by the way doesn't have to look perfect, at the end of the day it's just important that your print roughly has been covered in it. So it's not important if it looks great or not. And if you did this correctly, there should be a nice sheen thin layer of gold, which you can see really nicely here. Now we're getting to the real weathering, which is dry brushing the cheap acrylic gold paint. A quick little tip here, let your brush strokes really be visible, because those brush strokes really add to the whole weathered look, and let a little bit of the black print still be visible, because that just saves you a ton of time. You don't have to get no black pigment stuff. Just use some black filament when printing out the book, and when applying your gold paint, you should be dry brushing anyway, so there should be a little bit of the print still peeking through. And that's how it pretty much should look like. Now when dry brushing over the engravings, really make sure that you have a little bit of paint on your brush, not too much, or else you're gonna have blobs of paint that are just stuck in between the engravings and it's gonna be really hard to get them out. But if you do all of that correctly, you're gonna have an amazing looking effect. Dry brushing engravings are already easy because you're using a big wide brush, meaning it's already hard to even get paint into those small gaps. Meaning making mistakes is already pretty hard. So overall, if I had to give you guys some tips, I'd definitely use a big wide brush. Take your time, let the brush strokes be visible, and anytime you're dry brushing edges, make sure you hardly have any paint on your brush because it just adds depth. So now we finished painting the key gold and we can go over to the spine. So same technique, so you guys are going to get a nice montage. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna kind of go over what I planned for this channel this year. I want to dive more into the 3D printed space. I want to make even more props on this channel. Some props I really can't even wait to show off, but overall I'm just really excited to see what this year has in store for us. Over the whole span of my 2 years on YouTube now, I think I finally figured out what I want to post about. I just really love making stuff. I just really love making props for you guys. And I feel like I'm getting better and better with each prop I make, and I would love to take you guys on this journey because I just really love sharing my passion for prop making, and you guys are incredibly supportive. I still can't really wrap my head around that we hit 279 subscribers. I mean, it's not 1,000, it's not 1,000,000, but that's still 279 people that decided that they want to stick along and continue watching me make things that I enjoy. And that's honestly so cool, you know. It's very nice knowing that people enjoy my prop making skills so much that they'd decide to subscribe. So for those of you that have subscribed, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. It's really a very, very special and cool feeling. So, there's no footage of me working on the spine. One, I didn't think was necessary, and two, the spine was just so long. It was incredibly hard. Fucking humor of like a 12-year-old boy. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was really hard to like get the entire spine on camera. So I just, left it out. And as I said, there's nothing really different, the same gold effect technique was used, dry brushing, etc. I don't think there's really footage needed. Now, as for this footage, don't take anything you see seriously. I was really just experimenting with the dust and desert sand pigments. And in the end, I really removed a lot of it. That's why it looks so excessive right now. I removed a lot of the pigment later on because I realized just how dusty it looked like. If you're really wanting to go with like a really dusty looking Book of the Dead, I mean, sure, but I think this was just a little bit too much. So this is initially how it looked like until I wiped off most of the pigment, which I will show to you guys right now. So as I said, I just really wasn't digging that whole dusty look. It looked way too much, way too crazy, way too excessive. I tried to give really the engravings a lot of dust, which you can't really see on camera because that just makes the most sense that the engravings would be quite dusty. Also, in case you were wondering, because I don't think I mentioned it, I printed out the box version instead of the page versions because I obviously couldn't print out the pages due to warping. I printed out the box version then instead, so it gives me basically fake pages. and I can store some things in the Book of the Dead, which is pretty cool. So yeah, this is the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.